Hey everybody, it's Tony George from DocSports.com, along with the old USC quarterback himself, Mr. Sean Salisbury. We're talking about his alumni today in college football this weekend, taking on Utah as they come into the Coliseum and try and snatch one away from USC. And Sean, interesting game here. You know, USC, being from Lincoln, Nebraska, and going where there's, the men are men and the sheep are nervous, and then there's Husker football. They pack that stadium and get behind that team, and USC, not known for a vicious home crowd. Matter of fact, they're only 1-5 against the spread. Their last six Pac-12 home games here. Obviously, interim coach running this program here off a good, solid win against Colorado, who's not all that good, but a good confidence-building win. Slovis looked good. And Utah coming to town here with the second-string quarterback, which really hasn't been a lot of drop-off here. But Utah, always a very physical team, Sean. How do you think USC matches up in this one? They're laying 3 points here, and the total's 52.5.
Right. Tony, I hate this game. And I love the game, but I hate it. And I'm going to tell you why. And you hit on so many points that without even talking, and you and I, we got chemistry that we're thinking the same thing. First off, physical teams it's been a while. Physical teams give us trouble. Does that make sense? Yeah. So yes. That's why when they play Stanford or when they play Utah, when they play those teams that just watch up and knock you in your damn mouth, I don't know what it is over the last decade or whatever it's been. This team struggles, and that's part of in looking for a head coach. Now I love the recruiting and all that, but you can't. And I was listening earlier to the Chargers coach before we came on, Brandon Staley, and he was talking about physicality. He goes, "You don't have to be a great running team to be physical," and he went on to make it. If you can go on Twitter and hear it, his post, it's phenomenal stuff. And I was listening to this, and I'm applying it to not only sports and most sports, but, in hockey, Tony, same thing. You got to knock the piss out of somebody, right? But still have enough finesse to make a play, to keep people honest, and to preach to your team physicality. And I don't know what it is, but I know when you play David Shaw and Kyle Whittingham in Utah, that you're going to know no matter the score, you're coming out bruised and battered. I do know that. And you mentioned 1-5 against the spread. Tony, nice, God's honest truth. It's hard, and I bet on my team a lot, and not when I played, but now, because but it's this being in a long time, the difference between betting with your heart and betting with your head, right? And the emotion when you have for your Cornhuskers or your Chiefs, and the emotion I have for my Trojans. I friggin' hate it, but I can't. It's like that. I can't take my eyes off it. Does that make sense? But it drives me batty. If I bet on them, let's just say in the last 6-7 years. I can guarantee you I bet on them 30, 35 times. That makes sense? Whether it's over, under, take them as the under. Even if it's my team, I may root for them, but hell, if they're playing Alabama, which they did, and I was at the game, I didn't take them to win. I'm looking for spread, right? And so I can still root for them. Business is one thing and emotion's the other. Problem is they kind of both come together when you're rooting for your alma mater. Tony, I promise you, as I'm sitting here, there's no team that I've bet on since I've been out of football and loved the point spreads and gambling and doing this and picking games that I've lost on more than USC. It's not close. Yeah. If I've bet on them 35 times in the last 6-7 years, they've lost 28, 29 of them. And that I can count on the fact that when they cover or beat that over under or cover a spread for me, that I should have played Powerball the same day, because it just doesn't happen. Now, I'm usually confident when I pick it, but it's always, they fumble at the goal line, or they give a backdoor cover, or somebody gets hurt in the first quarter and they're on you know what I mean? So I hate this because I know I want to pick it and I know I'm going to bet it, and I'm hopefully going to be right on it. I can't fathom with our talent and team speed that we're going to dick around in this game and allow Utah to get within a field goal of us, because we're a better football team. But if you said, Sean, you got a pink slip for that vehicle, I'm not sure I'd gamble it away. Does that make sense? It's such an emotional thing for me. I'm taking the Trojans. I believe they can get this. I think they're explosive enough. Now, it may be, Tony, 21-17, right? It
Right.
may be that. But if we show up and play finesse ball and get manhandled at the line of scrimmage, they limit our offensive play calling because London is as good a receiver as there is in America, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would expect them to do this. If they don't, they're going to fall into the trap, win one, lose one, and then we're going to say same old Trojans, which I don't know how you fix it during the season. It would be inexcusable for them to push us around. I love Kyle Whittingham, but I'm taking the Trojans, but I've taken them in a close one that it may take a late score for them to cover this spread.
Yeah, you take a look at Utah here, and if I was going to take a side in this game, I'd go against you. It'd be a stake and a bear bet for sure.
Bingo.
Just because of the physicality nature of Utah. But that being said, they were a favorite of 8 points against San Diego State this year. They lost. They were a favorite against BYU, -7 in the Holy War there. State of Utah, they lost. They beat a couple of nobodies. But the one mismatch in this game is their defense. And their defense is 25th in the country. They're 17th against the pass. Why are they 17th against the pass? Well, it's not because they have great defensive backs. It's because of what we talked about earlier. They are physical up front, and they get after the passer. And Whittingham as coach, the one rule you got to worry about when you play Utah is he walks out to the 50-yard line before the game, draws a line in the sand and said, let's get it the frick on. This guy is no joke. And that's something. Yeah, that's something your Trojans have trouble.
Point. Yeah, he was my host on my recruiting trip to BYU when he was playing there, and I've known him forever. And when USC's jobs have come available, I've actually thought that we need a guy like him. He hires a good, honest to God, he epitomizes what we're supposed to be, and then add the perimeter and a good coordinator on both sides of the ball. Right. You Tony, you're exactly right. That dude, and he'll fight your ass right there in midfield too. That's how he does, and they will stop. And another reason why people can try to throw the ball, why? Because you ain't running it. I mean, they're going to hit gaps, and they are going to. And if you decide not to play, then the next guy, they'll roll his ass in and he'll go play. You are 100% correct about Kyle Whittingham's football teams. Never will they be a finesse team. Never.
Yeah, and I think he knows offensively. Look, they got Charlie Brewer in there from Baylor. The minute they benched him in a game, he walked from the program. They've got the other kid in there now. I can't think of his name.
Escapes me. It even slips my name, but they shouldn't be. They're not over a huge threat offensively, right? Tony, is what you're saying, right?
Right. I think he's going to play to his strength. That's his defense. That's why I like the under 52.5 here. If I had to lean on his side, I'd probably lean Utah until USC can prove. USC has bigger playmakers. USC has a better quarterback. USC is at home. Those three things, and so they're saying that USC has a 3-point home field advantage, either 2 to 3 point home field advantage. So they're calling this a pick 'em ball game.
Right.
And they're calling it a pick 'em ball game when I have Slovis as a better quarterback. You got a stud wide receiver. You've got some playmakers. If they want to get down and buckle the chin strap and get nasty with them, which is what they're going to have to do to win the game, then it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think the advantage lies there in the under 52.5. He is Sean Salisbury. He is host of the Sean Salisbury Show on iHeartRadio. This is the best talk show in the country. Raw, candid, unfiltered. Matter of fact, I tweeted that out today for you.
Thank you. I saw that and responded to it. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
One of the best shows in the country. If you're not listening to that, you're out of your mind. Especially with the Astros in the playoffs. So there's going to be a lot of talk about Major League Baseball.
And my Red Sox, too. And my Red Sox.
I know.
There you go, brother. There you go.
I'm seeing that. I can't wear any. Well, until my Chiefs start winning, I'm not going to wear my Chiefs hat. So now I'm just going with my PGA Tour hat. I'm protesting till we get our crap together. Check him out on Twitter @Sean Unfiltered. Thanks for tuning in, folks.